Building houses for rent is a bad investment. I don't know what challenges this person is actually battling with his property that made him make such comments. Other person, Oloye Akialabi, said, "Never again for me. I did it for 5 years, 2013 to 2019. I have sold some of the properties. Some I let people live for free. Is better served." So before we dive into what is the solution to this, I feel good for us to highlight what are the several challenges people who have properties are facing, especially in Lagos. So let's dive into it. Challenge number one is non-paying tenants. Many property owners struggle with tenants who default on rent or delay payment. There are some tenants like that once they occupy your property, they'll pay the first year, they'll pay everything, agreements, whatever charges that comes with it, they pay. But subsequent rent, it will be like we go beat ourselves or we start going back and forth. Another thing is property maintenance issues. Some people will just use your property anyhow. They use it, in such a way that when you get there, you just send them packing. But it's not that easy because they are the occupants. Then the third issue is legal and eviction orders. When you realize that this person, I don't really need this person again for whatever reason you have, you just realize that it becomes very, very difficult for you to evict them, even if you take some legal action or legal steps to ensure that you get court order to get them out of your apartment. It's not something that is that easy. You might be going to court, doing this back and forth, legal issues for years or for months. So another thing is security issues. I have properties left vacant for extended periods are prone to vandalism and theft. So security issues are part of the challenges. When there are no occupants in your property, you feel you could not get people to rent your property. It becomes a very a big challenge for you. Another thing is market saturation. Oversupply in certain areas, leading to difficulty finding tenants and pressure to lower rents. Probably you've gotten your property for some ridiculous amount of money, maybe because of the quality of that property. Then you got your property and you want to put it on rent and you realize that what is this? How much this person is paying? Maybe in my next video, I would make videos on how much you should be charging on your rent on your property. I mean for rent. So mostly it's actually 1% per month. I mean 1% of the cost of the value of the property per month. So it can meet up with whatever thing you're using the return on your investment for, because this is your investment. This is your property that is supposed to be generating massive return, residual income, cash flow for you. So the next one is unrealistic tenants expectation. Tenants demand high standard while paying minimal rent. It's a very prevalent issue in the industry. You see people, they want food, water, they want 24/7, so after power supply, they want concierge, they want this, and they will say this is the amount I have. They want to pay ridiculously, low price for the rent. So those are the challenges. I think those are part of the challenges why this person is posting this about rental properties. Then let's go to the reasons for these challenges. Why are people not paying? So let's take number one. Number one is economic factors. We have inflation, unemployment, or economic instability can reduce tenant ability to pay rent. There are some unfortunate and unforeseen circumstances that might affect the payment from your tenant at any point in time. So there are solutions to this. So another thing is poor tenant screening. Lack of due diligence results in renting to unreliable and problematic tenants. You need to know who you are giving your property to. You need to know the background. You do the background check. You know where they work. All these things are not supposed to be your headache, but we will get there. So another thing is neglect of property management. Some people don't want anybody to eat part of their money. They want to be the landlord. They want to be the to manage their property themselves. Then you start having issues because you cannot just spend all your whole time, managing properties. Maybe you have one, two, three. You start managing property, and that's just aside. You have your main hustle. You have your main thing you're doing. Some of you are not even in Nigeria. Some of you are abroad. You're somewhere. You bought property to get returns, to do some certain things. Eventually, you see that to manage the property yourself. Or some people will just not hire the right people. I mean, the right property management company. Then the next one is location related problems. That's a very germane issue as well. So you want to buy property for rental. Number one, you're not considering the type of property that would be built, because some of you, the intention of buying the property is actually different from what you now, I mean, the goal was different when you acquire the property, and eventually you change your mind. Let's say, for instance, you build a duplex for your family. Maybe then you later, because you want to relocate or you want to do this, then you decide to put such property for rent. It might be very difficult for you to get people to rent that property, to occupy that kind of property, because it might be too big for them. Sometimes what moves mostly for rental is apartment, one bedroom apartment, two bedroom apartment. Then the location itself, you cannot go to outskirts of a particular city or town and build there for an expecting huge return. Someone who has a property in Lekki, Victoria Island, GRA, Maryland, those premium locations and all. You can't compare that with people who have their houses in maybe Ekpe, or you have it in Imota. Or I'm not saying those areas are bad. I'm not saying you won't get rent, but there are some kind of properties. There are some kind of property you build there for rental, and there are some that you don't do that. So all these things, you need proper education before considering it. Then let's go to the next reason for these challenges. Another reason is legal constraints. Rent control laws or tenants friendly regulation can limit landlords' ability to enforce terms. That's another major issue. Some legal constraints on rent can actually affect how you deal with your tenants. When people face these challenges, there are solutions, the common solutions they prefer to this problem. The common ones, they try to sell off the property, as this guy rightly said, that I'm selling off all my property because the wala is too much, the issues there, here and here, chasing clear tenants, looking for tenants, these issues, money, maintenance problem and all. It might be head aching. Then another common solution is offer rent free arrangement. As this guy rightly said, he might decide to just not collect money, just be living there, maybe put one of his or her siblings or family members there to live for free because of the headache. Another thing is lowering rent. When you see that, okay, the challenge is that people are complaining that they don't have money, they don't have funds to pay, rent your property, then it becomes an issue. You might be forced to reduce your rent. So what is the best solution to this? This is where we are going. What are the best solutions to property rental challenges? Number one solution is professional property management. As I've told you, hiring a professional property management, I mean reputable professional property management firms, ensures proper tenant screening. They will screen your tenants, they know where they are coming from, they know, they make their research to ensure they know they were not evicted because they were owing rent or they used the previous property anyhow. They ensure that they work in good place, they get information about where they work, they go there and ask if they work there, they know how much they are earning to ensure that okay, they are able to pay for your property. So it is very, very important. It's not something you can do on your own. You need a professional and a reputable property management services or company or firms to help you do this. And aside that, they will still help you screen the what's it called, the tenant. So another thing is they help you do the maintenance to ensure that you don't have any issues with, with the tenants. They do the maintenance, water, if there is water there, they ensure that okay, they are always getting all these amenities that comes with the properties working every time. They do all round maintenance for the property, and they ensure that your tenants use those facilities properly, they put it in good use. So these things are not just what you can just do on your own. You get what I'm saying? So another thing is all these legal compliances, they will draft everything to ensure that it is bare, so it won't puts them in trouble probably later on when they're trying to evict this tenant, because no matter how well they do this screening, our tenants merely yawiri, you understand, they can run mad, they will do as if they are good people when they are coming to get your properties, but later on you just see that those you're dealing with are, they are not really normal like that. So the next thing is they act as buffer between owners and tenants, reducing stress. So it's very important for you to get these people to help you manage your property, so you won't have to interface with tenants, get insults and all those things. So I have several big and property management firm that I can suggest to you, that will do a great work for you. There are some of my clients that I sold property to that they don't even have to, get anybody. I get them the facility management and the property management firm that help them. They don't know where they put it, just see alerts. They just see alerts coming every year. You understand? When you don't get the alerts, they call the what's happening. Okay, don't worry, you get it next week. So everything is well structured, well planned, professionally, done, that won't give you any stress. Another thing is, I mentioned in when I was highlighting the problems, I mentioned strategic locations and selection of kind of property that work in that location you're buying that property. So it's very important property investing in properties in high demand areas with good infrastructures ensures a steady flow of tenants and rental income. I mentioned that. So it is very, very important as well for you to ensure that what you're doing, you know what you're doing. You are not gambling, because you can't have different goals for acquiring properties and you just change it, the goal, and you're thinking things will just change like that. Sorry, I think the lights just gone, but I won't stop. I will continue like that. They will bring it in a few bit here, so it's back. So the next thing is the number three. Number one, I mentioned professional property management, which is very, very jamming. Number two is strategic location and selection of good type of property. Then the third one is insurance for rental property. Most property owners don't do insurance. It's a major challenge. I have a client like that who is from China. So she bought this duplex in Lekki, and eventually noticed that the property does not have insurance. And one day they had fire incidents that damaged part of the person's properties, and she came to meet me. What do I do? How do I do it? Am I supposed to be the one to get the insurance, or the landlord? My lawyer is telling me this and that. So it's a major challenge as well. get insurance for your property. I think it's part of it. So policies that cover loss of income, damages, and legal costs can reduce financial risk for for landlords. You understand? So it's very important. Then the fourth one is lease agreement with clear terms. You need to, even if you're dealing with professional property management, you have to have agreements that bind you legally between yourself, the property management, between yourself and even the tenants as well. So here, comprehensive contracts that outline expectation, consequences of late payment, and maintenance responsibility can help prevent a lot of disputes. No doubt about that. No doubt about that. It's very, very important. I hope that helps and you get one or two things from it. My name is Sherry Farouk, your favorite real estate expert.